Who do you think, out of all the populations in the world, Americans, Mexicans, French, Swiss, blah, blah, blah. Who do you think is the most healthiest? Who would you say is the healthiest nation in the world? What do you reckon? According to statistics, the Japanese are the healthiest. They
Wow.
also live longest as well. And they've got the lowest rates of obesity, the lowest rates of heart disease, blah, 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 blah. And, a lot of that is because of their culture and a lot of cool things like that. But anyway, so that's an interesting trend, an interesting kind of thought process. I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. And I was also looking at the rise of alternative medicines, specifically around mushrooms as well. And I looked at things like reishi mushrooms and cordyceps and stuff like that. And I was thinking originally to get into that kind of marketplace, I'd start selling alternative medicines based around mushrooms. Okay. But the more I looked into it, the more I thought was a bigger opportunity. And the bigger opportunity is to actually start looking at a marketplace like Japan as a locale to then create a whole new brand out of, And one of the things I cover in the brand spankly new AOE training market is something called TAM, Total Addressable Marketplace, which basically all that really means is how big of a marketplace are you potentially going to be going after? And clearly, the bigger the marketplace, usually the more competitive and the more money you can make within it, So that's kind of how that works. Anyway, so I was looking at that, and I was looking at the mushrooms. I was thinking about Japan, and I saw that traditional Chinese medicine was set to grow at a crazy rate of knots. And that's something I'm interested in anyway. I've kind of sold, not in that marketplace, but I've sold in the supplements, humans and dogs and kids and all sorts of crap. And it's a market I really, really like. And so I was thinking about that too. Thought about this kind of like which countries live longest, which countries are healthiest, all that sort of stuff. And I thought, well, is there a marketplace for traditional Chinese medicine in Europe? Because I thought, well, maybe that is the option that's available to me. And so I looked at that, and there's this whole thing here in the EU where the French are the hypochondriacs of the European Union. Okay, if there's a problem, they've got it. And so I looked at that, and that is true. They spend more money on Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicines, than anywhere else. Germany is also good. Spain and Italy is also good as well. So I thought, well, the EU marketplace as a whole is good for Chinese medicine. Okay. But it's competitive, super, super competitive. So what I thought was, I wonder if, given that Japan has got all of this pre-existing marketing collateral that I can utilize with this notion that Japanese people are very, very healthy and live a long time. I wonder if I can piggyback on that. And I wonder if there is a version of traditional Chinese medicine, but for Japan. So things like this reishi mushroom, for instance, well, that's a Japanese mushroom. So kind of made the leap into that. And there is. It's called Kampo. And it's huge in Japan, but not so much outside of Japan. Okay. You often find Japan is quite an insular marketplace. They don't really export much outside of Japan, and it is its own marketplace. Okay. So I started doing some research on that, and I found a guy do a full research into the Kampo marketplace in Japan to find out things like what were the best-selling Kampo products, so traditional Japanese medicine products in Japan. Who are the big manufacturers? What are the trends in Japan? And kind of all that sort of cool shit that you'd need to do your due diligence on a particular marketplace. And so he's been and done that for me and come up with a shitload of really great suppliers as well for me. So now I'm at the point where I have the understanding of the marketplace and I have all of these fantastic manufacturers and I have all of their products, like I've got all their product catalogs as well now as well. And I've got an understanding of the French marketplace relative to Chinese medicine. And so what I intend to do is take these traditional Japanese medicines and apply them to the EU market starting in France. Okay, so that is my plan. That's what I'm intending to do. And I think that what I'm going to definitely experiment with is using direct mail, so letters in post, to do a lot of the marketing for me rather than just relying on the internet to do the mainstay of the marketing. So yes, I'll have these products on Amazon. Yes, I'll have my own website. Yes, I will have social media, but I also want to as well experiment with using direct mail, so posts. If you were in my inner circle, you would have heard Malcolm Ald late last year talk about direct mail as being an insanely good way of getting your offers into the hands of prospects. And so I'm intending to follow that. And I might even get Malcolm involved to come and write me some stuff and then get that obviously translated into French so I can then use that for marketing purposes. I speak some French, but not very well. I used to live in France, but that's kind of it, So it's an interesting thing. And what I'm going for is my goal is, because I don't speak French, it will force me to outsource. It will absolutely force me. If I'm going to do it, I need to outsource. I need to get French people, ostensibly, to do work for me. And so that's the theory behind that. So starting France, Germany's good. Italy's also good. Switzerland's also good. For traditional Chinese medicine, there's no reason why the new hot thing couldn't be traditional Japanese medicine as well. Okay, that was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are a community of over 2,500 professional e-commerce sellers from right around the world, selling on everything from Amazon to Shopify, eBay to Etsy, and much, much more. If you'd like to find out what we're doing and how we go about helping you make your business successful, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that is in the description. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.